Daihatsu's brand equity is based around producing compact and affordable cars. Cars like the Sirion and the Charade, both of which have built up a loyal following in South Africa. So it comes as no surprise that the Terios is a compact and affordable all-terrain vehicle. It comes in various guises: short wheelbase, long wheelbase, 4x2 and 4x4. This is the long wheelbase 4x2 version, and it promises to offer more space and more practicality than the normal short wheelbase version. The standard Terios is surprisingly agile in dynamic terms, but somewhat compromised as far as space and practicality are concerned. Daihatsu has addressed that shortcoming by extending the length of the vehicle by a full 315 millimeters. It stands to reason that the result is a lot more interior space. Plus, it also looks more grown-up and more serious than the short wheelbase version. The styling remains typically Terios, with big tapered headlights dominating the squared-off pugnacious nose. The side view emphasizes the extended length of the vehicle and displays the additional rear overhang. At the rear, it's the externally mounted spare wheel that dominates. Roof rails, large exterior mirrors and a front scuff plate underscore the Daihatsu's all-terrain intentions. The wheels are alloys shod with all-terrain rubber. Comprehensive color coding adds a touch of city slicker style. Don't expect too much in terms of chic in the interior, however. The focus here is much more on practicality and functionality. There are 3 rows of seats, and the second and third row both can tumble forward to allow for more luggage space. Of course, the raised seating position also means there's very good all-round visibility. But as far as practicality goes, the Terios' 7-seater capability comes at a price. With all 3 rows in use, there's hardly any space for luggage, so it's best to consider the Terios as a 7-seater when commuting, but a 5-seater plus cargo space when you're travelling on holiday. The list of standard features covers most of the essentials: remote central locking, power steering, air conditioning, electric windows, and a CD receiver with 4 speakers. Safety equipment includes dual front airbags and ABS brakes with EBD. The long wheelbase Terios uses a slightly uprated version of the same 1500cc 4-cylinder engine used in the entire Terios range. This particular unit produces 80 kilowatts of maximum power, which is 3 kilowatts more than the standard version, while the torque peak is 143 newton meters, 3 newton meters more than the standard engine. With a vehicle weighing just under 1,200 kilos, the power-to-weight ratio is 68 kilowatts per ton. Because the model under scrutiny here is the 4x2 version, the 5-speed manual gearbox delivers the engine's urge to the rear wheels only. In that context, and given the Terios' all-terrain pretensions, the absence of a diff lock is a pity, almost forcing those intent on traversing anything more than gravel roads to opt for the 4x4 version. Talking of diffs, the test unit had a perceptible diff whine, which made it sound like a 4x4 in low range. We can only assume this is a problem confined to this particular test unit. The performance of the Daihatsu Terios is best described as modest. It gets off the mark with a fair amount of alacrity, and it feels frisky enough around town, but that's also because the gearing is on the short side. It will cruise at the legal limit, but then expect things to get a little bit raucous. Fill this vehicle with luggage and passengers though, and you can expect both response and progress to slow down considerably. The 0 to 100 sprint time is in the mid-12-second bracket, and the top speed is around 155 kilometers an hour. Handling is more or less what you'd expect of a compact all-terrainer. Despite an elevated centre of gravity, the Terios feels quite planted on the road, thanks in part to its wide tracks and shortish overhangs. It turns in nicely too and always feels wieldy. The 200mm ground clearance allows it to traverse rough gravel and high curbs with ease, but without a diff lock, there's too much wheel spin for real off-roading. And on tar, there's too little grip from its all-terrain tyres. In the wet, it's suffered from severe oversteer, making us look like hooligan oval track racers even at just 40 kilometers an hour. Expect the Terios to sip fuel at a rate of about 7.5 litres per 100 kilometres in mixed conditions, which suggests a typical operating range of around 650 kilometres from the 50-litre tank. The long-wheelbase Daihatsu Terios tries to combine the roles of a subcompact SUV, which are of course nimble road manners, compact dimensions and affordability, with the space and versatility of a larger people carrier. The problem is that it compromises both roles in the process. It simply is too large to be truly agile and too small to offer true seating for 7 people. To my mind, the better package in the Terios lineup is the short wheelbase version because it simply is more balanced and more honest in its approach. However, if 7 seats and a value-added price tag are prerequisites, the long wheelbase Terios may just be the SUV for you. Despite its modest output, the 1.5-litre engine delivers reasonable urge, while the all-independent suspension ensures better than expected handling. Add the 7 seats, decent spec and raised stance, and this Terios emerges as a versatile high-value SUV, but its short wheelbase sibling offers the more convincing package.